So what's being expressed here, what's being suggested is the end. Full stop. The end. Because everything that comes after that is a concept. Even the one before that, the end, is also a
You're
concept.
frozen.
Oh, again.
Yeah.
Why do I keep on getting frozen here? Second here. That was such a great intro too.
Because it was the end, yes.
It was the end. Just a second. Let me just... How about now? Is that better?
Yeah.
No? Yeah, okay. Okay. So what's being suggested here is the end. Full stop. Anything that comes after that is a concept. Even the end is a concept. So there's really nothing, no way out of this. It's just being expressed here that the ending is the beginning of nothing, which doesn't make sense. So nothing has ever
You're
been said here.
frozen.
Oh, again. That's so weird. Okay. It's showing that I'm in good internet connection, so I'm not really sure. Am I frozen right now?
No.
No. Okay. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know where I was actually. I was just expressing that everything that is
The
said
end is
here is it's not going to make sense. This is just an energetic expression that since nothing makes sense, the one that's trying to conceptualize it is not really real. The one that's going to conceptualize everything that's being said is dead. It's a concept. So perception, trying to perceive something, doesn't really make sense. Because whatever it perceives is just perceived. If there's no one perceiving it, what's perception then? What are concepts then? What are ideas then? If everything behind the idea, everything behind the concept, everything behind the story, everything behind everything is actually nothing. So nothing is everything. Empty is full. But that can't be really understood or can't even be perceived. So the reason, well, apparently the reason that a lot of people come to these meetings is to perceive something that cannot be perceived. It's to understand something that can never be understood. It's thinking that they are far ahead or far along in understanding something that's the mystery. I'm going to repeat again. This is the end.
Mm.
And it's also beginning at the same time. The end, the beginning. As I said in the previous meeting, everything that is perceived in time is an illusion. Everything that's perceived by the perceiver is also an illusion. So everything that is said here, everything that is expressed here, is being perceived apparently by a perceiver. But the one that's perceiving this, the one that is seemingly trying to understand this, is the end, is the concept. So the concept is the end of the concept being conceptualized by the concept. The concept of me, the concept of questions arising, trying to figure out how do I get rid of this concept? How do I go beyond the concept? Well, the concept can't get out of the concept because it's the concept that's trying to figure out what the concept is. If your head is spinning, sorry about that. It's trying to be expressed here without any kind of compromise. This is going a little bit hardcore. And what's the hardcore illumination here is that nothing can be understood because the one that's trying to understand it, the one that's trying to get it, is not there. The one that's trying to know it is unknown. So it goes in a circle of knowing and understanding and perceiving and conceptualizing something that is not that. So it tries to understand, how would this be if the conceptual me falls away? But that's another concept, because there's no me, a concept, and falling away is just another concept. Everything is being expressed here is in sleep talk or dreamlish or illusion-ish. And it's being understood in an illusionary perception. So what's the point of this? It's pointless, and that's the point. What's being pointed here is it doesn't have a point. What's being expressed here is that this is completely meaningless and pointless because there's nothing special. And that's a death blow to a lot of perceiver. You mean that I'm doing this for nothing? Well, there's no you doing this anyway. Someone said, this is painful. Yes. Yes, this is not about giving you something. This is radical honesty. Because if there was something to give you, it's not going to... sorry, I'm just going to mute. There's a lot of... But if there's something to give you, if you're really someone special, maybe I would have given it to you. But since there's no one special as well. So this is almost like a really humbling equality, that there's no better than, more than, less than. So if you ever come across some dream characters that tell you that this is not what is, that's the perception again. They're not even there. Or that I'm real as you. That's the perception too. At least with this communication, it's completely honest that everything is a perception. But there's a clarity in the perception that everything that's perceived is an illusion. So there's no landing here. There's no conclusion here. There is no certainty here. It's just this. It's just unfolding, unknowing, unlearning. Nothing is being held here, because who's going to hold that? William.
Yeah, so in a number of these Zoom meetings, I've heard participants ask about addiction. And can you hear me, Emerson?
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's great, because you'd frozen, so I wasn't sure. Yes, I've heard a number of people in different Zooms ask about addiction. And I've heard a number of different speakers say the biggest addiction is to the me. Now, obviously, I don't understand what that means, but it seems to me like the biggest addiction for the me is to hope.
Okay, let's just entangle that sentence a little bit, right? So the perception that there's a me is reinforcing that there's a me that there's an addiction, there's a separation. So let me just clarify that what seemingly is an addiction is just an appearance. It's a wholeness appearance of a me perceiving itself over and over again as real. Some may call it addiction, but let's just getting a little bit more complex than what's being expressed here. That I'm just trying to go really simply here, really cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that everything that you're perceiving, everything is almost an excuse It's kind of like an interrogation here that, well, there's no one here. And it comes up with this storyline. Well, according to this speaker, which is just another story, there's no other speaker, that there is an addiction, which is another story. Because everything that I said earlier, everything that seems to be based in time is not real.
Some of
But
that
it
cut
also
out.
feels real.
I was going to say a little bit of that cut out.
Hello?
Yeah, I think we've got you back now.
Okay. What were you going to say about that? Sorry, William. You cut off there. Well, I cut off there, not you.
Don't you think, though, that hope is the biggest drug for the me? Because that's the kind of fuel that it runs its whole life on.
You're just trying to make another excuse to keep the hope alive when there's really no hope. So you're coming up with another story to reinforce the story. And it just keeps on a circular pattern, isn't it, right? That's why I said this is the end. Enough.
So what one kind of statement? No, what one kind of statement can I say about this?
Nothing. Nothing. That's what's being expressed here. It's nothing.
Yeah, I want one factual truth to cling on to about what's happening.
See, the story wants to create another story so that it can cling on to the story. It's being exposed here that all stories are empty. So whatever story it comes up with is always empty. So when it's empty, is hope needed? No. Because who needs hope when it's just a word? A word that if you keep on pursuing, well, there's no one pursuing in the story, then hope becomes suffering.
Yes.
You're hoping for something that's not there.
Yeah, and it creates a lot of expectation. And if that doesn't get met, then there's, like you said, it's suffering.
Yeah, this is already perfect. The hope obscures what's already free. A hope for something better. There's got to be something better than this, was a line in the story that I kept on saying that got me in trouble and a lot of suffering. Because I kept on looking for that something better than this. I'm like, maybe it can be found in meditation. Maybe it can be found in 3 to 4 hours of meditation every day. So I would sit there trying to hope for something better than this, when this is smack dab, can't be avoided. And I'm trying to avoid this. Because I have an idea or a perception or a story of what liberation is. It's always something better than this. But when this includes everything, the shitty to the blissful to the crappy to whatever appears. So when it's seen that whatever that perception and the perceiver are both illusory, trying to navigate from here and there when there's no here and there, when it's all just this, appearing completely, wholly, perfectly, not Holy, wholeness, sorry, wholly, perfectly, complete, free already. So anything that appears, it could be that shitty chatter about worthlessness, or it could be that invigorating pep talk of like, you're the best. But all of that is illusory. None of that is real. Everything that's perceived in time is false, but it appears completely true. And no one can ever figure that out. It just feels like someone gets slapped here and basically said, snap out of it. And then there's the snap or the slap was the seeing that everything is nothing. I'm like, oh, wow. It's not special at all. It's really just nothing. It's perfectly nothing. It's absolutely nothing.
Thank you, Emerson.
Okay. Oh, there's a whole bunch of questions here. Can you guys all hear me? Yeah? Okay. Someone said check the upload bandwidth. Yeah, I'm checking that too. Um, yeah, okay. Emerson, can you tell us what is certain? There is nothing that is certain whatsoever. Because the one that is perceiving things is the uncertain. The one that is puts meanings into things is meaningless. The one that holds the time, which is illusory, the timekeeper, is not real. It's a really, really flimsy illusion, but it seems gargantuan. It's a really easy to see through because there's nothing. I'm not talking in riddles here. I'm not talking in nothing at all. It's just being expressed as it is, that this is really nothing appearing as everything simultaneously. So everything that you can think about, feel, taste, see, temperature, whatever it is, even that feeling of discomfort is emptiness. Everything that you see in time, yesterday, tomorrow, memories, aging, is all timelessness. Everything that you see, the sun, the trees, the dog, your loved ones, are really nothing. They're just appearing to be something, but it's really nothing. Someone asked here, can you define nothing? This is nothing. This is nothing. This. It can't really be defined completely because it becomes another definition. So everything that's defined, everything that's understood, is just another understanding. And all understandings are illusory. William, back again.
Yes, so you know the whole thing about special, not special, that the
Yeah.
individual apparently lives in. I want to project that you're someone special because you've got something that I haven't, and then that gives me hope that I can get that. And I'm assuming in the timeline of Emerson before the apparent falling away, might have been a projection of special onto certain teachers or whatever.
Mm.
So now there's no one special. That all falls away.
Yeah. Because everything that you think is special is not really there. Everything that you believe is not actually true.
Come on.
Yeah.
How did you say that?
Well,
Is that true? Like, I was thinking, is that true? It's a belief. But
yeah,
everything I believe is not really true.
that's true. Yeah.
But I believe that you're someone called Emerson, you live in Toronto.
That's your belief. It's not true.
So there's no... So when the me collapses, belief collapses.
Yeah. So go back into that. So when the me collapses, the belief collapses. So including specialness, including people, including belief systems, including time and space, including reality, including true or false, including this or that. So there's this zero fucks given.
can tell that when I'm talking to you.
Yeah. And that's liberation, but for no one. It's also really humbling. It's almost kind of like you're kind of like, oh, this is really nothing special because it's not for anyone. I think someone mentioned it. It's like there's no difference from anything and everything when there's a seeing that there's never been anything or anyone.
Thank you, Emerson.
All right. Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Emerson.
Hi.
Hi. There's no way to think about this, but thinking happens.
Yes. Yeah.
If you try, I think you're frozen.
Oh,
Oh, that's better.
that's better. Okay. Okay.
Did you say anything?
Oh, no, no. No, no. I was just
Oh,
waiting
okay.
for you. Yeah.
Sure. It seems to me thinking happens, but there's really no way to think about this because any thinking becomes a concept.
You
The
got
con-
it. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
concept is going to be wrong as
Yeah.
soon as you simultaneously with your getting it, because you can't get it.
Yeah.
So it's constantly going in and out, if you want to use spatial terms, which
Mhm.
are incorrect. It's going in and out like that. But the only way to address what one might be feeling or seeing is through that medium.
Yeah.
So I better quit while I'm ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all just
Oops.
happening, right? Am I frozen again?
You froze again.
I don't know why that keeps on happening because my uploads are good. My download is good. Um okay.
You're back.
I'm back. Okay, okay. All right. I have to call Zoom after this to see what's happening. But yeah, so everything seems to be, everything that you can think about, right? Everything that you see, everything that you perceive, everything that you feel is unreal, but it feels real. And that's why it's hopeless. That's why that's why it's
and it-
meaningless. Yeah.
yeah.
And in that meaninglessness and hopelessness, there's this contention. You're like, okay, if there's nothing to figure out, not a realization, but a seeing that there's nothing to figure out, that there's no one here, that everything's just happening automatically. It's like um, watching a show and thinking that you can fast forward, pause, or rewind the show or change things when it's just been playing. It's just playing. You're like, it's kind of like one of those kind of like, oh, wait, I can't do anything. I
Lost you
froze
again.
it. Okay. What's going on with this?
You need an Emerson to
I know.
handle Emerson's stuff.
That's right. Okay. It's working again, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's this this character always had a fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you know what? I used to spend tons of money on self-improvement and spirituality and retreats, traveling. I think I shared to someone before that. I'm like, I think I allotted about 10 grand per, traveling, finding the next guru, being at their feet. And then this apparent falling away or dropping away was the biggest money saver. Because there's nothing to figure out. There's nothing to attain. There's nothing to be revealed. Because what you think is going to be revealed is just another idea. All right, I'm just going to pause here. I'm just going to reboot. I'll be right back, okay? Because it keeps on happening.
Now I got you. Whoops.
I'm just going to hook it up with my phone. Just a second, okay?
Sure.
The internet gods thinks that this communication is too dangerous. That's probably what's happening. Am I back now? How's that? How's that? Steve? Hello?
You're back?
I'm back, yeah.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah, I said maybe the internet gods think that this communication is too dangerous. It keeps on lagging my...
Well, they heard you said it was the end, so...
Yeah, this is the end. So everything is that appears is the end. It doesn't really have a continuation. You can actually, a clearer way of saying it is the beginning and the end.
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yeah. So it doesn't really happen. If you really try to even understand, it can't be understood, but it's not really happening. Because it's all emptiness. But the emptiness is appearing as everythingness. Like thoughts.
Which is what seems to be happening.
Which is what seems to be happening, which seems to be really real. But it's always the end. It's always the unknowing. It's always the ending. To make it a little bit clearer, it's always ending. Seemingly beginning and ending at the same time.
Which is impossible.
Which is impossible, yeah. Science is beginning to catch up with this communication, with this radical non-duality.
Right.
I've been keep on getting books, and I don't really read them. I read maybe a couple of chapters, but it's still trying to figure out something that can't be figured out. They have figured out that there's no self. There's a new book right now that there's no such thing as consciousness or awareness, which is really great. There's this no free will thing by Sam Harris, which is also confused. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems to flip back and forth. So what is being expressed here is that this doesn't really have an explanation. It can't really be fully explained.
Well, they're trying to conceptualize it. They're trying to reduce it to mathematical formulas.
Yeah.
And every time you add another concept to it, you're creating a situation which is going to backfire on itself.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. Like imagine if there is I think they did a couple of tests. There's more tests now done about free will. Imagine if that test is put on a phone app. It's called the free will kind of like thing, so that you can tell which you're going to choose. I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick coffee. Let me check out my app. Somebody asks you coffee or tea. Coffee according to my app. I'm going to pick coffee. Or you go to a courthouse and just say that, well, there's no one here. I didn't have any free will or choice. It's going to collapse the whole... Yeah, you can't see that. That's what I'm saying.
Let me just say, after 32 years practicing law, I guarantee you that's not going to work.
I was talking to another lawyer about that too. Yeah, it's not going to work at all. No. So although there's a lot of evidence now in this, in science and everything, it's not going to be widely accepted. Because in the dream of knowing, knowing trumps everything. In the dream of separation, separation is what happens. So everything that you see is separateness. Everything that you feel is separateness. Everything that you think is separateness. But you are not there because you're an illusion of wholeness. Meaning you're not even there. So everything that is being perceived is separation, but separation is the illusion. So nothing is really separate. Madness, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Someone said here, this hardcore session leaves no questions. We can just talk about anything too. Someone said that I'm speechless now. Oh, Gillen. How are you? Oh, there's the cool Gillen.
Yeah, the cool Glenn.
Yeah.
I love the way you transmit this message, because it's really for the lazy one. I keep on listening some other types of transmission of the message, but it appears like they are someone that also is a no one. It's very strange how they can stand both in both places. They and what they appear to say is that if you don't do the shadow work, you will pay for this. It's gonna come after the no one. That it's very strange how they keep on telling that there is a process, and the people like you have done the work before because you were a deep seeker. I just want to hear what comes from.
With this communication, it's like this character has seen through all the bullshit, and that's just communicates as honestly as it can. I never did any work. I pretended to do work. There's this perception that you're doing something, but everything that was apparently being done is all a conceptualizing the concepts, trying to make it real over and over again, and then trying to although there's no one trying, apparently it seemed like, so there's a lot of suffering in that. There's people that I've talked to. The first perfect example is my friend that's never heard of non-duality, has never heard of spirituality, but clearly sees this as seen that there's never been anything here. We just had a couple of drinks of beer, and then he came back and he goes, there's no one here. I'm like, yeah. My little nephew, I talked to him about this, and he's 4 years old. I should release that video, but I want to ask his parents, my brother first. But completely sees that this is just an unhappening.
Yeah, and you cannot find anyone in the body.
No.
How can you grasp something so, there?
Yeah.
That's funny.
The biggest trick of all is that this feels super real, right? This feels hyper real. It like in a dream, like in a nighttime dream. Everything feels real until you wake up. You're like, oh, nothing happened.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel real really after a while of listening. This message is so clear.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is just surreal, right? It feels kind of like, ah.
Yeah.
So it's peacefulness with the unreal and real.
Maybe
It's kind of
it's the fact that if someone really wants to accomplish something, if there is a doer that still want to do something upon his own will, probably more difficult. But
it's just a story
not
too.
real at the same time. So
yeah. Well, the problem with processing and all that kind of stuff, although it's just what's happening, there's nothing wrong or right about that. Is if you are teaching something that needs work and processing, it makes you a lot of money. Imagine if I made this into an 8-week or 16-week intensive, and then just keep on dangling the carrot over and over again. There's a sharing of this because there's just this overflowing expression of this. There's just this in loveness with this. I'm like, I love talking about nothing. It's like DJing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all your words just fall down. What you said in the beginning never existed. It's
all dead words.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all empty.
Me too. I like to speak about
Well, we're going to do an open mic on Thursday. You want to make sure that you yeah. You want to speak about this? Please do. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, Gillen. Cool, Gillen. Cool. This is my favorite question. How is it possible to be deeply intelligent, also so good looking? It's not. This is the impossible. Just kidding. Oh, a question here, sorry. Can you talk about the death of concepts again? Yes. The concept arrives dead because the one that's conceptualizing it is not really there. So the concept, every concept that you've ever thought of is dead. It doesn't have any relevance. It doesn't have any importance. Because it's not really coming from anywhere. It's coming from nowhere. So it's just appearing and disappearing simultaneously. It arrives, it's dead on arrival. It doesn't have anywhere to go. But the storyteller wants to extend that concept and use it to reintroduce the concept over and over again. So it becomes this cyclical movement of belief, concepts, stories, knowing, understanding, desiring. To tie it back with what I first said in the first session, everything that you conceive in time is not true. Because time is not true. So all of this illusion, like concepts, time, stories, me, are all connected by falsity. It doesn't have any basis. It doesn't have any weight. Because if this is hardcore non-duality, radical hardcore non-duality, then there's nothing separate. There's never been anything separate. Kathy.
Hey.
Hey, Kathy.
Not to be punching holes in the message.
No worries. Yeah.
But there's something I know. There's something to be said for the body, the human body.
Yeah.
I mean, as illusory as it's supposed to be, if you have an illness, you need to take your medicine. If you don't take your medicine, you're gonna. You have to eat, you have to drink. If you don't eat and drink, the physical form is going to die.
Yeah.
So there's something there that, you know, keeps bringing me back. You see, because it's there's such a concentration. This is feeling heavy and concentrated.
Yeah.
With the body.
And I'm going to say this again, the same thing that I say.
I know you're going to talk about the fire. You would run out, right?
Yeah.
But do you see where a contradiction comes in?
Not really, because in a dream, if your body, you're still eating and there's still a body. One time I dreamt that I was, 10 years old. So is the 10-year-old body real? No. None of it is real.
No, but if there was a fire right now, you would run.
Oh, yeah, because the dream is real. The dream feels real. The body feels real.
But if you didn't, but if let's say if you stopped eating and you stopped drinking.
There's no one choosing to stop eating or not drinking.
Right, but
the body's going to eat. Yeah.
No. There's no one choosing, so the choice is not to eat or drink.
Okay. But you just contradicted it. There's no one choosing, but the choice is not to drink.
Right. There's no one choosing, but somehow the choice came along that you're not.
Okay. Some people fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are people that fast, do water fasts as for months as
so in the dream the body dies, but there's still no one there.
It seems to sort of there seems to be a discount. I don't know, that physical form is seeming to be.
Not really. That's your idea about it. That's your perception about it. This body, this character, does Peloton every day and eats really healthy. Yeah.
But you're not choosing. But you're not choosing that.
No.
You're not choosing that. But
No.
somehow that physical form is, has some weight to it. Has something to it. Weight. You know what I'm trying to say? To me, that
there's no one choosing here to do that or not to do that. It's just the happening. Everything is just simultaneously happening without anyone choosing to starve or to do healthy stuff. It's just what's happening.
Or disease, and even when you look at diseases, looking at the genetic diseases, there's so many diseases out there that are passed down genetically from the parents. So it's
in the story of the dream, there's going to be everything that you could think of, because this is nothing appearing as everything. So it could appear as genetics, it could appear as illnesses, it could appear as whatever, but all of this is a dream that feels completely real, like illnesses and dieting and going to Peloton biking. All of it feels real. I'm not discounting that. That's why I use the analogy of, if the body is in a building that's on fire, it's going to get out of the building and not say that, well, there's nothing happening. There's nobody here.
Yeah. So that's where I'm having the,
there's no one. You're somehow trying to put free will and cause and effect into something that's being exposed as an illusion.
I guess I'm trying to, like when you say, there's no choice, but I'm going to run out. It's kind of like feeling to me like there's some kind of survival about the body that's
sometimes
there.
This body can just watch Netflix for a whole week and eat nothing but junk food. No one chooses that too.
But there's something about the survival.
Survival is just another story as well. What's going to survive when there's nothing?
But why do we hang on so strongly to survival? There's like you said, you would run out of the fire. Why? I mean, I know there's no answers to why.
Because the illusion is that this feels real. Yeah, keep on going. That's okay. I like these questions. Let's go all the way to nothing. Keep on going.
No, I'm laughing because you can't really go all the way to nothing. You just
it's all nothing.
You just get caught in it. But for me, it was like, well, okay, the illusion it's an illusion and nothing's really happening, but why does the me have this strong sense of protecting the physical form, whether it's taking the medicines or going on the bike or whatever, you know?
Because the illusion feels completely real. I'm going to pull up that meaning of illusion again so that we can revisit it, just to because I keep on saying illusion and illusion and illusion, but there's
Yeah.
seemingly kind of like a misperception of what's being said. Illusion is likely is the a thing that is or is likely to be wrongly perceived or interpreted by the senses. So everything is being interpreted as something that is happening to me, but it's a misperception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. I can grasp that. I just,
Yeah.
like I said, I get hung up then with, if it's the illusion is so intent on preservation of the body, of the
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
form.
Yeah. Or not. Or not.
Or not,
Or
yeah.
not. Yeah. Both are
Yeah,
illusions.
there's, right, there could
Yeah.
be other, yeah,
Yeah.
who wouldn't run out of the building
Yeah,
or who
yeah.
would starve
There was a
themselves to
story in this
death.
character that it was trying to kill itself every day. It's just a story. So it was doing
Yeah,
everything it can to kill itself every day because it didn't want the story anymore. Does that make any
yeah,
sense? So it would eat, drink, would do whatever that was disruptive or
yeah,
could kill it.
until,
Until it did
till,
until the story, you know what I'm saying, is just
till
seen
the
as a
story
story. Yeah.
ended, till the
Yeah.
story ended,
Yeah. Yeah.
and another story began.
There's no other story that begins. It's all a story. Including this.
But the
There's no
story that,
better.
yeah, the story
You're
of
trying to
trying to
put a
kill you,
time. Yeah, that
yeah,
there's
the
no
story of
times.
trying to kill yourself
Yeah.
is that story is ended.
That's just a story. It never began. It's just fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's another fiction beginning.
It's just seen through that it's all fictional. But during
Okay.
that time, there was a belief that it can do something. There was a
Mm-hmm.
believer. There was a storyteller. There was a what do you call it? It thought it was real. It can't kill itself.
Because it has no choice.
It has no choice. Yeah. There's another question actually here. Yeah. Someone Maud said
All right. Thanks,
says
Emerson.
there's no
Yeah, go
free.
ahead. Go.
No. We'll go back to you, but this was just relates.
Yeah.
So there's no free will in suicide to or who choose. No, there's no one choosing. There's no one choosing to choose suicide or not. There's this heaviness about that, but again, this communication has nothing to do with therapy or mental illness. If there's mental illness or there is a suicide, this character seeked help. You know what I'm saying? In the
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
was going through that, so it did not
Yeah.
resolve things through non-duality.
Yeah.
It seeked help. It seeked help. This character, right?
Yeah.
There was suffering, but this has no cause and effect, right? What's being expressed here. So all of these stuff that we're throwing out here are just stories.
Right. So the
Yeah.
the one that commits suicide is not choosing that either, and
No, everything.
no
There's never been
no
anyone
sense of
here.
the
Yes,
Mhm.
there's never been anyone here, so
There's no
there's no
sense
one.
of this survival
No,
mechanism.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is not
So it,
about. This doesn't have any kind of holes because there's no
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah. No, there's
Yeah.
no one.
Yeah.
I know. Sure.
Love you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Petra. Oh, sorry, David and Petra,
It's
and then
David
I'll go.
first, yeah.
David first. Yeah, sorry. I'll get to you back, Petra.
Hi,
David, please go ahead.
hi. This may not take long, so Patrick can have a chat soon. So there is no real,
Mm.
and there is no unreal.
Yes.
There is no empty, and there is no full.
That's right. Yeah.
So when we say you're just seeing this all as real, what we mean is you're seeing this as exclusively real. You're seeing only the real and not seeing the unreal.
That's right.
You take real and you take
Yeah.
the unreal,
That's right.
and they both add up to nothing.
That's
They
right.
both
Yeah.
add up to nothing.
Yeah. Because the one that's
And what-
perceiving is seen
Yeah.
through as not real. So everything that I'm not seeing, that I'm seeing,
Yeah.
is not really real.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
self, the illusory self, takes what is, draws a dividing line down the middle of it, and says there's one side of the line and the other side of the line,
Yes.
and separates on one side real and never actually sees the unreal.
Exactly.
They assume that
Yeah,
everything is exclusively real.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that right?
That's
Okay,
right.
great.
It lands in a position. It lands on an understanding or a
Yeah.
knowledge, right? And there's even a lot of non-duality speakers, teachers that thinks that way, that has landed in a position.
Yeah.
That
That's right.
has made it an
Yeah.
absolute thing, or
Yeah.
this is my experience, yours is not valid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there is no position. There is
No.
nowhere that a position can be taken from.
No, that's
There
right.
is no point in space or time that
Yeah.
there could be a perspective or there could be a position from.
You got it, David.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Bingo.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Cheers.
Petra.
So when you said the person looked for help, this was
Yeah.
also what happened.
Yeah.
No one chose to look for help.
No one chooses to look for help. Yeah. Yeah.
And no one chooses to, no one with mental illness would choose to come to this meeting or not to come. It
Yeah.
happens.
It just happens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when it feels like going back to the dreams, by which there is no dream, this is the end, but assume there's a dream, and pressing the snooze button feels like to be optional. It's not true. It's just what's happening.
No,
as
it's
well.
just what's happening. No one
We're
chooses
just illuminating what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
With-
No one
with
chooses
the story,
to
which is a
just,
story, and which is choiceless. Huh?
it's, everything is choiceless. Yeah. There's an appearance of someone pressing the imaginary snooze button, seemingly a pattern, It's like, yay, no. Yay, no. Which is also just what's happening, which this character did for quite a while. That's why, there's this apparent remembrance of something that never happened, but that's what it did too. I'll be like, I had a glimpse and I'm fine now, and then all of a sudden, the moment that something that was not preferred apparently happens, I don't want to see this anymore, presses the snooze button. And then declares that I am suffering. Although I've seen that there's no suffering, I am suffering. That kind of thing. It's just a story as well. Funny though, huh?
That.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Wow.
I like it when these meetings become a little bit tense and dangerous.
It's funny.
Will you show your third eye today?
Oh, I only do that with a special
With the in group.
no, there's no in group, but when you have reached. No, I'm just joking.
No.
Isn't that enough that I'm don't you guys see that I'm levitating here? I don't know if that's not enough already. That I just have this imaginary wall. Can you, Emerson? Can you talk about shadow work? This is, I guess, in connection to what Ghislaine was saying earlier. Yeah, actually, in the dream, there's nothing wrong or right about shadow work. It might actually make the dream feel a little bit easier, but it's still a dream. This character, when this character was a spiritual teacher, offered that kind of thing. But it's also seen as a dream. There's nothing wrong or right about it, though. Kathy, go ahead, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I just didn't. I had the hand was sitting there, and I didn't touch it, but I didn't.
No
have
one chose it.
No.
I don't know what happened. It just came up. Yeah.
But I was thinking of something about free will, and like I've heard other speakers say, you there's no free will or choice, but there's preference. Like I prefer tea over coffee, or blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But do you get down to the most small, like for instance, this sounds silly, but I had to take my garbage to the refuse center, and I had this one plastic thing. It had like mayonnaise or something in it. It was at the end, and I just didn't want to stop and wash it out, because you got to put your plastics and wash them out. And I was like, I'll just stick it in the garbage bag. Nobody's going to know. And then I was like, oh no, whatever. I mean, this is like so insignificant, but I'm just saying, down to that, and I took it out of the garbage, but just down to that little tiny, is that choice?
No, that's just the illusion of choice.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's
But now that you said it, your karma's screwed up now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, screwed up. Oh my goodness.
I cheated at the refuse center.
You would have reached nirvana by now if that karma was, if
Right.
No, there's no such thing as cause or effect. So to
No, but I'm saying,
choose to recycle or not to recycle is just what's all at once happening. It's automatically happening. So you didn't have any choice in that.
But I'm trying to distinguish, is that preference? Because preference is having a choice. No, that's not preference.
No. Preference is just another, as I said earlier, right? Everything that you think that happens in time is an illusion, including preferences.
But in preferences, the illusionary person is making a choice to have coffee.
That's how brilliant the illusion is, that you're trying to come up with another story about it.
I'm really getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. That's why these sessions are. That's why it's called hardcore,
I just can't accept it.
and you had no choice doing that too.
I have no choice except. So.
Let's just put it clearly this way: you have never done anything good. You've also have never done anything bad or wrong. You've done nothing at all. So everything is pure and innocent, appearing as time, preferences, this or that, before, after, karma.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Wow.
Rest in peace. That's all that there is. It's just peacefulness. In everything, in all the chaos, it's peace.
It's great. That is great. This is great. Yeah. It's great. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh. All this struggling for nothing, huh?
Really?
Yeah. It's all empty, pure and innocent. We'll talk in a bit, Kathy.
Okay, thanks.
Bertrand.
Hi, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, just also sharing, but probably not question. Yeah, like in these meetings, seems like even though there seems to be this conceptual understanding of whatever you're saying, it's very odd. Something else seems to be going on behind that, and it's very Emerson, hello.
He's frozen.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said something else is going conceptually, or something else is going behind, or something. Go ahead.
Always going on behind this conceptual understanding.
Yeah.
And then even though I'm like, oh, maybe I think I'm getting somewhere, but even behind that, there seems to be something that's going on that I can't put my finger on.
And you will never put your finger on it, because it's peacefulness that cannot be understood. It's liberation that's not conceptualized. It's freedom that doesn't have any conditions. So even all of this flitting around back and forth of understanding and not understanding, or I get it or not getting it, there's always this seemingly ununderstandable something that you can't figure out that's always there. Some people call it emptiness, unconditional love. This. And there's nothing outside of this. It's so grand and so humble that it's accepting of everything. It doesn't conceptualize or put anything into story. It can't, because it is unconditioned. It's completely innocent and pure.
I don't know. It's I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing to say, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is completely wordless. It's wordless. It can't really be defined, right? It's almost kind of like I can't describe it.
Yeah, and even though there's like even though sometimes there's the experience of this not being enough.
Yeah, it's also
but even behind that, there's also the same.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Keep on going. Yeah. You're doing well.
Yeah, I can't describe it, but yeah.
It's the perfection in the midst of all the imperfection. It's the perfection that everything that's happening, even though it cannot be understood, is also understood. It's weird. It's the seeing and the blindness happening at the same time. It's blind and it sees completely. Weird. It can't be conceptualized. It can't be put in words. I'm trying to navigate here and try to. It's not even opposites, because it doesn't have opposites. So in this wholeness, everything is included, including concepts, but it's not a concept. Weird.
Yeah, weird, and it feels like a balloon that's just on edge, yeah. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great, Bertrand. Thank you.
Thanks.
Gillian.
Hi again.
Hi.
You know, I'm thinking often of, you know, like people, bad people, you know, there ain't any choice in it.
No.
Like
No.
nobody's choose
No.
to be kind or unkind. It's all, it comes from nowhere, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like, to love this message, where that come from? Nowhere.
Nowhere, yeah.
So it's pretty easy to see at a certain point. It looks like believing in the me and the intentional doer and everything doesn't make sense.
No.
At a certain point.
No, yeah. Yeah.
But I think you're frozen.
Oh, no.
Oh, anyway.
Keep on going.
So,
I'm here.
yeah. Okay. Just after a certain, is not an investigation, but you know, when you think about those things that people are acting apparently badly and everything, it comes from nowhere, because nobody would choose to be the.
Yeah, they're like ghost stories.
Yeah.
They might be scary, but they're really not true.
No, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And
Yeah.
nobody remembers the apparent self that was at 2 years old, or at
No.
the beginning. We don't remember anything from the beginning.
Yeah.
And
No. Everything is just arising fresh and new, right? But
Yeah.
seemingly there's a continual time that
Yeah.
feels also real and true. So this fresh and new is being met with this real and true. And
Yeah.
then so that's what appears simultaneously is this inexperienceable experienced in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we get old out of nowhere. You know?
Yeah.
Oh boy, right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Louis is here. Hi, Louis. Oh, I can't hear you, Louis.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Emerson,
How's it going?
hey,
How you doing?
good. I'm on my camera. Finally
Of
got my
course.
girlfriend in here.
Oh, hi. How's it going?
Okay, she's not showing her face, but it's okay.
Okay.
No, as we're talking about this illusion, I just thought about this. I don't know if it's an analogy, something I saw like long time ago, but like you know how like there's some people say it's the play of light and all that.
Mm.
It's like because it's the light rays going to the eyes,
Mm.
showing everything, but
Yeah.
they're just like light rays reflecting into it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why nothing is real, because it's just light. It's not even really
It's
happening.
all a
It's
play
like,
of light. Yeah, it's not even reality. No.
yeah,
It's all
but
illusory.
I don't know how that explanation goes into, is it happening in the brain and all that? But you know, but this goes further. I mean, there's not even the brain.
There's
It's
not
just,
even a brain, yeah. Everything is
yeah.
an illusion. It's kind of like how do you explain a nighttime dream? You can't. How does it happen? You can't. Like this, you really can't explain it because you're not even there. So it's trying to figure out something that is the illusion. So the illusion can figure out the illusion because it's an illusion. Because everything that it tries to do is also illusory. So that's why even science, in science they figured out that what we're seeing is actually 6 seconds behind. So we're not really seeing things in real time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things like that right now, that's really popping out, and every time I have an avid person that always makes sure that I'm updated with all of this stuff, because he's a neuroscientist and he's fascinated with all of this stuff. So we talk about
Hello,
it.
hello.
I think he just cut out. That's it.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Yep, lost you. You have an added person who.
I have an avid person that's a listener to these communications, also a neuroscientist. So I'm
Yeah.
updated with all of this science stuff and quite fascinated by it as well. But I'm not passionate about it. I'm fascinated by it, but I'm like, yeah, because everything is just an illusion. Trying to figure out that it's an illusion when it's so clear that everything is just an illusion. So even an illusion coming up with a conclusion is also an illusory conclusion. Yeah.
So what do you think of this play of light? Like, what would you say? Like, the way they describe play of light makes sense, but
don't get caught up in it again because you're getting caught up in it. There's no choice there anyway if you're going to get, again, when I say that every single thought that comes is dead. So just another dead idea. It's just to keep the story going over and over again. Then you just keep on going, oh, it's a play of light. It's a play. You just made it into a real story.
Yeah.
You just concluded. You just landed somewhere. This doesn't have any landing.
Yeah. One thing I realized, like I remember last time I was at Jim's retreat. You were there too, and I think this communication, it's whatever's happening, or what's being described. It's like it's really unexpected because I had that thought of something which I'm pretty sure it wasn't coming from me. It was just all thoughts are not coming from me, but somehow it was an unexpected thought of, oh, Jim is not there.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm always like trying to.
But the moment that you arrived at that conclusion, it became a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I see how it's impossible because I didn't even do it and it was unexpected. So how can it happen? Because it's unexpected.
Yeah.
You can't expect it.
No, you can't expect it. No,
But it's kind of that type of quality, isn't it?
That's just another idea about it.
Okay.
This doesn't have any. Yeah. So it keeps on coming up with ideas about this so that it can figure out, right? The one that's trying to figure out this story is the story. So you're the story, and you're trying to figure out the story by hiding that you're a story. So it comes up with all of these ideas because it's a really flimsy idea that I am here. So it comes up with this stuff. In essence, it's trying to hide behind this idea so it doesn't see that it's also an idea.
That's a bit difficult part because I know there's nothing to do. So now I'm like waiting, just listening, and then maybe something unexpected will happen. But that's kind of waiting.
You're not choosing to do that anyway. So choosing not to do or to do is just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Waiting for something and not waiting for something is just what's happening. There's nothing that you can do because there's no one there. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Louis. There's a question here. Jason, choices appear to happen, but no one is doing it. It's not that I don't choose. I hit to send. Okay. You want to talk about this, Jason?
Sure, why not?
Hi, Jason. How are you doing?
Hi, Emerson. So, when people ask Tony, like, what can I do? And he says, it's not that you can't do anything, it's there's no one to do anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that with choice. It's like, well, it's not that I can't make any choices or I don't have choice. It's more like there's just no one choosing. But the thing is, coming from the self, what is heard is I can't, like, I have no choice. Like, there's still this me here that has no choice, right? And that's like even more suffering in a way. It's like,
or you can look at it a different way. It could also be liberating that you have done nothing wrong, and you've done nothing right as well, because none of that you did. It's kind of like when there's this really, really heavy dream at night. When you're dreaming at night, it's like that you're an asshole or whatever, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, thank God I was not an asshole. Or the opposite thing too could happen is that you were, you had this really amazing dream and everything, and then you wake up and it's empty. You're like, oh, that didn't really happen. This is like that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
notice in dreams at night, that I don't make choices.
It's the
Like
same as this.
this happens, that happens, this happens, that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I wake up, right?
Yeah.
And it's different than the daytime life, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I still feel like, oh, I made a choice.
Yeah. See, there's actually no nighttime dream, and there's no.
But you're
daytime
saying
dream.
it's like that all the time.
Yeah.
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 But then I'll never get that. Oh my gosh. Can I just say, when the self drops, it's like there's never was a self. It's like the illusion is seen. It's like there never was a self ever to begin with.
Yeah.
And then the self comes back again, and it's like the self has always been here, and it's totally real, and it's so crazy.
Well, there's this idea, right? The idea that, the other one is devoid of any ideas. It's just what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the they call it the being, right? It's just being.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then when the me apparently comes back, it becomes a meing. So there seems to be a meing and being and an oscillation.
Yeah.
But really, it's all an illusion too. So you made the story out of nothing. That's why there's no you, but in the story, you made a story out of nothing. And it becomes this kind of like, oh my goodness, when there was, no me, then it becomes a narrative.
Oh gosh, it's so
it's madness, right?
Definitely.
It's like
This is
schizophrenia
crazy.
almost, right? It's like schizophrenia. I don't know.
I don't know if I go that far, but it's definitely confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing until it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Until it's all clear that, wow, there is really nothing happening, and there's really nothing that I can do. Wow, there's never been anyone here. Wow. It feels all real though. Wow, although it's nothing happening, but it all feels real, and it's happening all at the same time, that there's no nighttime, there's no daytime, and oh, it's always been this way. There's never been anyone here. That is nuts.
It is nuts.
And then you're kind of like, I want to tell everyone, but there's no one to tell because there's no one there too.
Yeah, I remember having a lucid dream, and I knew it was a dream, and I went to the other dream characters, and I was shaking them, going, "This is a dream. This is just a dream. Can't you see? This is just a dream."
Well, let's recreate that, Jason. This is a dream. This is a dream. This is a dream.
They didn't get it though. They just looked at me like I was crazy.
How come you're not getting it too?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just joking.
Okay, that's it. I'm good. Thanks, Emerson.
You're good. Okay.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. King goes, do you care what people think? There are no others. No, actually, there's 0 fucks given here because there are no others. That's the that's the aliveness that is seen, that there's never been anyone here. So it just feels this aloneness, but there's no one. I don't know how to explain it. It can't be explained. There's this, seeing that there is never been anyone here, but there's also this persistent illusion that there are others, but both are not real. Louis. Oh, Kathy first. Sorry, Kathy, and then Louis. Kathy?
I don't know why the hand didn't go down. I didn't really have a question.
No worries.
So I'm just listening. Me is here listening.
There's no one listening.
I know. I don't know.
No. It's so confusing, huh? Until it doesn't. David, please go ahead.
Oh, hello again. So I believe similarly to yourself, I've got a dog, and I'm pretty sure that I project an entity into him. Like, I know he's a character because the way he behaves, but it feels to me like he's almost like a real person, but a dog at the same time. And I'm pretty sure that as much as we're all apparently projecting that as we believe as we're separate people, but it feels it's easier to sort of spot as I'm doing it to my dog, to the dog.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Emerson, if you're not frozen. Hi. My question is, let's say hypothetically, this apparent person were to seemingly drop away and then everything is lost. Presumably the projecting of an entity upon a pet would go as well. And if that's the case, is that felt as a loss that you would mourn?
Not really. You know what? I see that, that all the characters of my dog is just dogging by itself. My dog is, but there's a story that my dog and I have, he's old now and all this kind of stuff, but it's just an appearance. So all of these stories, even it's seen as a story, is still like a real story. But it's also a fictional story at the same time, right? So I know my dog likes to get scratched on the lower chin. I think he's a character. I think he's a lovely dog. All of that is just a perception. It's all not real. But in the dream of separation, what a nice dream to be with your dog that you think is special. Yeah.
You froze.
Yeah. Oh, I froze.
Come back in just a sec.
I said, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You said what? You were just saying what a nice dream in the dream of separation.
Yeah, the dream of separation. What a nice dream to have a dog that you think is a character, that you have given a name to, that you've given a story to, that you've given specialness to.
Yes.
Because without a you, there's no specialness and there's no dog.
Yeah.
And there's no name. It's almost kind of like a nice reminder that everything is made up, including your dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that made up dog.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Right.
Thanks.
That is cool.
Petra.
Emerson, this is the end. It never started.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't believe me if I pretend something else. Snoozing or whatever.
Yeah. It's just everything is just a word that is the end, really.
It's so obvious.
It is.
How come we circle
it's easy. It's easy to be in the story. It's easy. That's why. It's easy to go, oh, there's a ride called the story called the me. Let's write it. It's easy, it's fun. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like this is like sobriety here. It's kind of like, yeah, I see that it's fun, but yeah. It's just what's happening. Yeah. Should we take an hour break and do another session for an hour? Yeah? I think we'll do that. I'll leave it a breakout room, and then you guys can take I want to eat something too because it's noon here. And then we can go for an hour and a half if you like after. Yeah? All right.
Okay.
See you guys.
Great.
And I'll fix my internet.
Thanks, Emerson.